Check 1 2. Should be good. Welcome in, everyone. Got more severe weather coverage here. It is currently 10:16 p.m. here on July 20th. I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma alongside Ryan below me. It's been a long day. We're back for more here in the lower peninsula now as a new severe thunderstorm warning has come into play. Let's go ahead and fire up my wireless microphone. Should be able to hear me a little bit better now. Ryan's got to see my stream as well. I got to get him in. There we go. There you go, Ryan.
Yay!
So, severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is going to be northwest lower. The orange box on your screen is that polygon. And the details are as follows. National Weather Service in Gaylord has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Leelanau County and northeastern Grand Traverse County in northern Michigan until 11 p.m. At 10:11 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located 17 miles north of Sleeping Bear Point, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Hazard with this thunderstorm is going to be 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It is radar indicated. Damage to roof siding and trees is expected. Locations in this new severe thunderstorm warning include Leland, Elk Rapids, Grand Traverse Light, Suttons Bay, Northport, Old Mission, Omena, Lake Leelanau, Peshabistown, Mapleton, and Leelanau State Park. For your protection, move to interior room in the lowest floor of the building. Once again, this is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, hail less than penny size, storm motion vector 291 at 41 knots. That is the movement on the storm for those who have professional radar. The main pocket that we're watching right now is heading right for the island first, North Manitou Island. Not to be confused with South Manitou Island. The lines on your screen here, those are supposed to be roads, but they're not really roads. They're more of trails. There is one road called North Manitou Trail here in North Manitou. So Manitou Islands, this is where the winds are currently at. They have not yet reached the mainland, but this wind is heading your way. We're looking at velocity radar right now, and that shows you guys we got some wind of around 70 miles per hour at 5,700 feet off the ground. Again, this is likely not all mixing to the ground. This is why we only see a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but there is a decent mid-level jet out there today, 500 to 700 millibar for those who are curious, and that is screaming across the area. These storms also have a plethora of special marine warnings on them. Most of these earlier, I think I'll go up to the north here. Yeah, the one to the north had waterspout possible on it, and I believe that storm has faded. Don't see any rotation on this shower, although, yeah, there's not really much in terms of rotation anymore out there that I'm seeing, but the main concern right now is this pocket of gusty wind showing up in these blues, getting closer to the darker blues, heading into the island right now, North Manitou Island, and taking a look at general reflectivity. This does show a lot of different things ongoing right here. We do have some sort of bookend vortex moving across the lake right now with a little bit of a rear inflow. You can kind of see if I loop it through how it's curling down into the area. And when it curls down in the area like that and it bows out, that's where you usually see the apex of your gusty winds. And so that is a warning that is well needed for northern Leelanau County, which includes North Manitou Island. If you are in Northport and Leland right now over towards Peshabistown, your time to prepare is now. If you have to wake up the family, feel free to do so. Make sure to be taking shelter in the lowest floor of your house interior room, away from those exterior walls if possible. You don't want trees to come crashing through and unfortunately causing injury. So please head into your interior room, whether that's a closet, underneath a stairwell, pantry, somewhere in the inside of your house, so those trees may not come crashing in and cause injury to you or your family. So again, it's northern Leelanau County. This also includes portions of northeastern Grand Traverse County, primarily this peninsula up here in the Elk Rapids region, M37 north out of Traverse City. It does not include Traverse City itself, but there is also a special marine warning out there for the entire Grand Traverse Bay region. No boating should be ongoing right now at this hour, 10:20 at night. If you know anyone that's out fishing tonight, I know it's going to be some good catches out there with the storms rolling in, but a fish is not worth your life. If you're out boating, you could be capsized if you're out on the waters right now with these 60-mile-per-hour winds coming in. There's also some very strong storms in this secondary pocket back here near Washington Island. This is Door County, Wisconsin. There's a severe thunderstorm warning out there right now for northern Door County. That orange box you see on your screen, and kind of a train of special marine warnings with this line of storms at the current time. So,
looking at the atmosphere, the cheat code, as Joel calls it, there is a lot of what we call downdraft cape out there, as expected. We've been talking about this throughout our briefings and a few of our forecasts here. Out ahead of these storms, there is a pocket of between 1,000 and 1,300 D cape. And while there is very little surface instability, that D cape is what is going to drive these storms to be wind producers tonight. So with all that D cape out there, expect gusts between 60 and 70 mile per hour possible out ahead of this line. And as Joel mentioned, this is also kind of bowing out on itself. So that's not going to help the case here for damaging winds tonight with that bow echo trying to take shape here as it pushes to the south and east. So this is aligning quite well how we forecasted. We'll just kind of have to see how it plays out through the evening at this point.
yeah, there's your DK values I'm sharing on the screen here. We always look for values over 1,000, and that entire lower peninsula, it does have values up around 13 to 1,400, all the way down into southwest lower. I did just put out, I don't know if you saw it, Ryan, but the kind of a makeshift internal discussion on the page prior to when we went severe warned here about 10 or 15 minutes ago of most of these winds should stay in the northern periphery of this side of, or in the lower peninsula. There's still, of course, the chance of damaging winds in the southern lower peninsula, primarily along and south of 96. Giving the odds right now, of course, because it's going to take a while for it to get there. This line is stretched from southwest to northeast from Wisconsin up into the lower peninsula. It's very much entering, the lower peninsula right now, whereas it's still probably 3 or 4 or 5 hours away in the southern lower peninsula. So the odds right now of damaging winds of 60 plus tonight, primarily along and south of 96, are at the current time 15% or less. If you go north of that line, still a very heightened chance at damaging winds from Muskegon over to Lansing, over to Flint and points north. That is going to be your best shot at these gusty winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour overnight. And again, as Ryan mentioned, and I continue to show on screen here, your D cape values are the main driver of that, despite the fact that there's really not much in the way of surface instability out there at the current time. It's our kind of our synodics that are kind of fueling the storms tonight in terms of our damaging wind factor. And so that's something to keep in mind. Also, of course, there is still a little bit of residual spin in the atmosphere that is still attempting to be used up, and it's also moving across the Lake of Michigan with this batch of storms. So as we modeled on our briefings last night and tonight, there is a little bit of localized spin and a low chance of tornadoes across northwest Michigan still here probably within the next 60 to 90 minutes, especially if you can get anything that comes off the water here. There's a decent area now of, there's a couple pockets where there's a little bit of rotation, maybe a little bit of a notch trying to form in these areas of bowing. But for the most part, this is going to be damaging winds. There's also, of course, with how much precipitation we have out there, these bigger cores that you see on the screen. Again, these cells are entire counties wide. Still a good chance at some 1-inch hail, perhaps, with a couple of these cells overnight. But again, primarily going to be that 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Northern and central lower peninsula, primarily north of 96 and 69, is the going rate tonight. But again, there's still a chance of severe weather for the entire state overnight. It's just you have not very low, but still have lower odds if you go down into the southern lower peninsula, just because it's going to take a while for storms to get there. And while our D cape is going to be sticking around for a while, probably a decent amount overnight, again, sometimes it doesn't matter. You can still see these storms kind of fall apart. So we'll keep an eye on it. This is intriguing me right now, Ryan, in the in between that Manitou Island region.
I'm gonna pull up GR2 and get a 4-panel going.
Let me switch back actually to my radar here. There we go.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on there.
You can see looking at the radar. Again, these couplets are what we're watching here. These blues and greens. I need to pause it so you guys can see. Um, these little blues and greens kind of coming close together. It's better on storm relative velocity. You can see the reds and greens. A couple of decent couplets off of Door County, Wisconsin. There's also this couplet here, kind of on the front edge of that Boeing segment as it moves in towards Manitou Island. That's actually in a favorable spot for rotation. It's not completely unheard of that we get something there, so we'll keep an eye on that. New warning also coming in now for Grand Traverse and Leelanau again, so it's probably going to be the southern half of this line as it continues to kind of swoop down and south. And if you go ahead and look back here in Wisconsin, we did have a bunch of cells pop up for, what was it, like 2 hours? And now they're kind of gone again across Wisconsin. So we'll see if there's more redevelopment, but that's another thing is, maybe there won't be redevelopment back here. So the best odds right now, because there's not much going on in Wisconsin, confidence is better across central and northern Michigan overnight tonight. So here comes the new severe thunderstorm warning in the paddle looking box here. This does include downtown Traverse City. National Weather Service in Gaylord has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Leelanau County and central Grand Traverse County until 11:15 p.m. At 10:26, a severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles north of Sleeping Bear Point, moving southeast at 45 miles per hour. I know there's a couple people in comments here saying they're at Sleeping Bear Point. Probably a good idea to maybe be going and finding some substantial shelter now. Hazard on this going to be 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Locations in this severe thunderstorm warning include Traverse City, Sleeping Bear Point, Bingham, Glen Arbor, Cedar, Greelickville, Burdickville, Maple City, Traverse City State Park, Glen Haven, Spider Lake, Williamsburg, Fouch, Bates, and Good Harbor. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of the building. Once again, that is 60 mile per hour wind gusts and hail under penny size. They do not have the tornado possible tag with this line of storms. It's probably because these storms are less surface based.
I was going to say that before the new warning came in. Both of them don't have the tags on them, which is kind of surprising considering the rotation that we're seeing. But I mean, it's not really a strong signature just yet. I do have the outage map pulled up as well here, so I'll keep an eye on that as storms arrive on shore.
Holy cow. I'm looking at the mezzo right now, Ryan. 60 knots of effective shear for this line. It's going to get windy. If you guys are just tuning in, we are live now. Current time down there at the bottom right corner of your screen is 10:29, about to be 10:30. I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma alongside President of Operations Ryan below me. Again, if you're just tuning in, feel free to hit that like button and the share button with your friends and family, especially here across the Lower Peninsula overnight. If you're just about to head to bed, make sure you have ways to receive warning on you.
Farewell.
So that way you can be warned and snapped out of your sleep. And again, do not rely on the sirens. The sirens are the last fail-safe mode when it comes to being alerted when you're sleeping. You should have alerts on your phone, maybe some phone call system set up, and also weather radios. When in doubt, weather radios are awesome tool to have. Again, they're very loud. It's like having a tornado siren in your house, and they will be loud. No matter where you put it in your house, it's going to be loud. It's going to sound like a burglar alarm or something like that. So definitely highly invest in one. Obviously, you go get them at your hardware store, but most hardware stores are closed at this hour. So bottom line is, if you have a weather radio, use it tonight. If not, you're going to be kind of relying on your text messages to kind of wake you up. Because again, outdoor warning sirens, you're not meant to hear them indoors, and so you shouldn't be relying on them in the first place as your main mode of severe warning when you are sleeping. They're also, and this surprises a lot of people every time I say it, but the severe sirens are not set off by the National Weather Service office. They are set off by local emergency management, fire department, police department, wherever these sirens are located. Often that could be sometimes the town hall. Your local clerk has to drive down to the town hall, and sometimes it takes them 15 minutes. And by the time it's 15 minutes to come and gone, storm's already come and gone, and the sirens go on. And it's already too late. So there's all these different fail modes that come into play when it comes to sirens. You should not rely on sirens when you are sleeping. You should rely on other modes of warning, including weather radios, and some sort of phone call system or alerts on your phone when you are sleeping. Additionally, we're live right now, so feel free to pull an all-nighter with us because we'll be up for a while. So, we're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch. The best way that we recommend, obviously, to watch is going to be on YouTube for multiple reasons. Number one, chat's more lively, a lot more moderation, a lot more fun. Second, you can also stream YouTube. If you have a smart TV, you can throw it up on your smart TV. You could play it in the other room. It's better just that way if you go and put it on a big screen so you can see kind of all the details, especially on radar here as these storms roll in. First for Northwest lower, but eventually through the rest of the state overnight. So at the current time, though, the main concern right now is damaging winds rolling in to and through the Manitou Islands region. Up next is going to be Glen Arbor and Leland for these damaging winds. They did just update severe thunderstorm warning. And no change to the hazards. They just trimmed the box a little bit. If I play the arrows back and forth, it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning box is dancing. But yeah, these winds are going to be rolling into Leland and Glen Arbor very soon. I would say for Glen Arbor, within the next 5 minutes. Leland, you've got probably 7 to 8. However, would not be surprised if the wind is superseding the precipitation. So you could see this wind arrive well before the rain moves in. So I would say less than that. Again, if you're watching right now in Glen Arbor and Leland and you're in one of these orange boxes, you should already be in shelter. Don't dilly-dally. And again, at night, it's really hard to see anything coming your way anyways, so don't wait to see it. Take shelter now if you are in Leelanau County and eventually northern Grand Traverse County, where these storms are moving in within the next 20 to 30 minutes. But yeah, on velocity radar here, the brighter the greens changing over to blues, the stronger the wind. And obviously we have this batch right here moving in towards the Glen Arbor and Leland area at the current time, but we also are watching this train of storms that are moving over the lake. And this is also going to be a concern for flash flooding in a little bit. If these storms don't move more south than east, then we're going to see more flash flooding. And again, this is an area of the state that's already been hit by flooding and flash flooding this year, dating back into March and April. We had a couple severe thunderstorm events this year that have also produced flash flooding rain. And now again, this is just more heading over the same area. Leelanau County in the thick of it at the current time. And as you can see, plenty more rain moving in from Wisconsin and Menominee County. So that's something to talk about in the long run. At the current time right now, though, the main concern is that wind as it rolls into Leelanau County. If you're looking for an app on your phone to download before you go to bed, I would say the emergency app by the Red Cross. That will play alerts for all severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, wireless emergency alerts on your phone, they're good. Obviously, they're actually honestly great, but they only go off if there's a tornado warning or a level 3 severe thunderstorm warning. Yes, there are levels to severe thunderstorm warnings. That's when you see a destructive tag added to the severe thunderstorm warning. So again, that's level 3. Right now, what we're showing you on the screen is your baseline severe thunderstorm warning, level 1. Is anytime there is either, or it's an and or statement. It's 1-inch hail and or 60 mile per hour winds. That's how you get a severe thunderstorm warning. Right now, it's for 60 mile per hour winds. Level 2, you go up to the next level. That's considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That's an and or statement of 70 mile per hour winds and or 1-inch hail. Sorry, not 1-inch hail, 1.75-inch hail. Then you bump it up to the destructive limit. And the only way you get wireless emergency alerts on your phone through the destructive severe thunderstorm warning is if you have baseball-sized hail of 2.75 inches diameter and or 80 mile per hour winds. So again, the emergency app by the Red Cross is a good recommendation to have for when if you have to go to bed tonight and you do want to chance it. There's also plenty of rain and storms ongoing across the straits. Go ahead and turn on our lightning tracker. A lot of lightning, of course, with our severe storms, but plenty of lightning all across Presque Isle, Sheboygan, Emmett, down towards Otsego, Montmorency, and Alpena counties this evening. A loud night out there for the most part at the current time. Not much in the way of wind. So good news there. The main concern, of course, back here to the west, where severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Leelanau County, northern Leelanau County for 23 minutes, southern Leelanau County for 38 minutes, as well as central Grand Traverse County, including downtown Traverse City, again, expiring at 11:15 p.m. if you guys are just tuning in. So Traverse City, if you're tuning in right now, wondering what's going on, these winds right now are still way off to your west in Glen Arbor and Leland, but they're heading down your way with a 60-mile-per-hour wind threat. So Traverse City, you do want to be on alert. Within the next 20 minutes, you do want to be jumping into your shelter. It's best to watch downstairs at the current time in your basement. And again, we are getting close here. I know Ryan's back. We're getting close to our late night crew. And so by watching us tonight here past 11 p.m., it's kind of the unofficial time. It's MSC after hours. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. And yeah, we'll be here all night until these warnings expire. Correlation coefficient also says there's a little bit of a hail core in there too. Wouldn't be surprised. VIL also picking up on that. Probability of severe hail though is at 61%. So not quite there. There's some hot pinks in there, and that's usually a sign of those big rain droplets, perhaps mixing in to our freezing layer. I'll take a 3D slice just to check it out. There's a couple spikes up to around 30,000 feet, but for the most part, this is below 27,000 for the hail core. So it's mostly below that freezing layer. That is some gnarly wind, if that is confirmed down to the surface on base velocity, Ryan. That is 4,300 feet off the ground. I'm reading 85 miles per hour, 86 miles per hour at... You can zoom in on a road here. Good Harbor Drive is one of the roads here, as well as West Lake Michigan Road. And do we got another road here? Going once, going twice. We got South Bosch Road. So right there on the point. Again, you guys can see those dark blues popping in here on the velocity radar. It is 4,300 feet off the ground. So anything below 4,300 feet, we can't see on radar due to the limitations of the curvature of the Earth. And of course, the beam height from the radar site is let me look on the right side of the screen here, 0.484 degrees officially. So those two factors make it a little bit difficult to see anything below 4,300 feet out here in the Glen Arbor and Leland area, where we do plan at some point to get a weather camera here in Leelanau County, but that has not happened yet. Hopefully in the future. And again, your reports mean everything to us tonight. So anything you guys want to put in chat in terms of power outages or any sort of damage reports, feel free to do so. I will say this, if you guys have damage reports to send in, message them to us. Reserve messenger only for damage reports. Time and location as specific as you can get. If it's a hail report, we saw this earlier with our storms. Ryan and I were rolling our eyes a little bit earlier. If you guys have hail reports, please measure them next to a ruler or a coin if hail is a threat. Otherwise, again, damaging winds is the main threat tonight. Any sort of information does help when it comes to sending this over to the National Weather Service so they can verify that it did in fact happen at that location. So our Facebook Messenger is open. Also, if you are not on Facebook, we do have a Discord server open for you guys, discord.gg/Michigan Storm Chasers. And at some point, very, very soon, I have a feeling, we'll have our MSC app released for you guys, and you guys can just submit your reports directly in the app that way. So we're excited to release that, hopefully, very soon. Fingers crossed. That pocket of 80 plus has moved. It's now back on the water. We have 88 at 4250 off the ground. This is heading due east straight towards Manitou Trail and M22. I'm about to lose my voice here. Duck Lake Trail, heading over towards East Waterview Drive. That would be heading that way. And really, this entire line is going to have winds with it. You can see the Boeing segment in the normal reflectivity radar here. It's a big smiley face, and it's very much not smiley face weather as this rear inflow jet cooks into the region. Leelanau County, this is impacting you guys from north to south, anywhere inside of these orange severe thunderstorm warning boxes. Ryan, anything yet for outages coming in the backside of things?
Negative at this time. I'm watching it closely and still nothing reported.
Alrighty. Once again, the app that you guys can download overnight, Emergency by the Red Cross. Otherwise, again, if you do have a weather radio, it's probably a good idea to pull it out and set it up for the night. Make sure you guys have a good reception on your weather radio. Otherwise, again, it may not pick up the signal. It's really the only thing to worry about. Otherwise, again, weather radios have battery backup. They're very loud, very useful, and they will sound for any sort of severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning that does occur in your vicinity. These winds are now onshore in the Glen Arbor area, heading up towards Leland. You guys are watching from Leland County, or not Leland County, Leelanau County. Close enough. Please feel free to let us know what you guys are seeing here in chat. Any sort of ground truth does help at the current time. But yeah, it's kind of a waiting game right now. It's always the silence before the actual storm arrives and things start going haywire in the comments and the messenger. But at the current time, nothing popping up yet. But we are close, as these blue pixels are now onshore, at least, from Glen Arbor up into the Westlake, Michigan Road vicinity.
The only outage on the map right now came in at 5 o'clock today. So if you pull up here for yourself, don't get confused. That's just north of Empire right now. That's the only one that I'm seeing in the current area.
Got it.
I did see a report earlier out of the St. Ignace area of some power outages, but I don't see anything on the map yet for that.
Roger that.
Hmm?
Said roger that. I did see that as well. Lots and lots of lightning and wind in Leland at the current time. We also have a comment that says, in Glen Arbor, no wind yet. Long Lake Township, west of Traverse City, lots of wind picking up, lots of lightning. So it sounds like lightning and wind are indeed picking up. It looks like it's going to be more in the northern half of the county. Again, these blues are over Glen Arbor, and you guys are saying there's not really much happening in Glen Arbor. That apex of the bow is, yeah, it's definitely a little bit further north. Good Harbor Bay and points north at the current time, heading towards Lake Leelanau and Fountain Point, eventually towards Sutton's Bay and Shabastown. Yeah, Upper Peninsula, you guys are pretty much in the clear for the night. There's a couple storms kind of still tapering off through the area, but this is changing over to a lower peninsula threat overnight. This line is more oriented east to west than what was modeled, instead of kind of southwest to northeast. And so timing is definitely getting a little bit later now for portions of southern Michigan compared to the timing map earlier today. So that's weather for you. It does move around. At the current time, again, there's really not much popping up in Wisconsin. There was a brief 2-hour period where there was just 8 tornado warnings across Wisconsin at the exact same time. It popped up right at dusk and then it went away again. So it was very interesting to watch. That line is pretty much turned into a couple showers at the current time. Wind now is sitting pretty steadily in Good Harbor Bay, and that's going to probably gust very quickly as it comes on shore. Again, a lot of flat surface area out there, so a lot less friction. Places right along the lakeshore are likely to get hit a little bit harder than places inland. Again, no trees stopping that wind along the lakeshore there. So if you're along M22 right now. Winds, as you can see in the latest scan, are moving in at the current time. At South Pit Road, I still have 80 mile per hour pixels showing up here at 3,800 feet off the ground. So really hoping that that's not all mixing to the ground, but it's still well worth that severe thunderstorm warning that's currently in effect.
Still no outages.
Okay. We're going to hope it stays that way.
Absolutely. Looks like the gustiest winds are just now moving on the shore, though, so we'll probably find out in the next 10 minutes what these winds are actually doing. The leading edge is on, but the wind velocity kind of tucked back behind the rain, seems like.
Yep. Similar to what we had a little bit earlier today. If you guys are just tuning in, these orange severe thunderstorm warning boxes denote 60 mile per hour winds, and they do have penny-sized hail now listed for northern Leelanau County. They do not have penny-sized hail listed for southern. The tornado watch has basically been canceled for all of the Upper Peninsula except for Menominee, Delta, and Schoolcraft counties. I imagine that's going to be probably canceled within the next 15 minutes. Again, it's in effect at least through midnight. But yeah, there's really no storms at the current time in any of those counties I just listed off. So that's pretty much over and done with there for the Upper Peninsula. Main concern right now is the Lower Peninsula, Northwest Lower. Looks like they're updating the special marine warning. Still 60 mile per hour winds on the waters. If you are in a small craft out there tonight, I do feel bad for you guys. It is not a fun time being out there at the current time. And again, these winds are just cranking all up and down this line. There are so many special marine warning boxes out there this evening. They all extend over into Lake Huron as well. Again, all for boaters. It's basically the equivalent of a severe thunderstorm warning over the waters. Over land, of course, you got your orange boxes there for Leelanau and northern Grand Traverse County. In effect, once again, northern Leelanau in effect for 10 more minutes. Still got another 25 minutes left on southern Leelanau and central Grand Traverse County. Wind right now rolling into Lake Leelanau. Some of these lakes don't have names on them. Doesn't really help. It's all Lake Leelanau. Okay, that makes sense. It's split by 204. The city of Lake Leelanau splits the actual Lake Leelanau. Okay, that makes sense. So all of Lake Leelanau should be impacted by these winds right now, as well as Fountain Point, down to Cedar and Maple City. That's about as far south as it gets at the current time. Again, with Glen Arbor, you guys were saying there's not much in terms of wind there. We'll see. And again, just because this first line comes through doesn't mean you're out of the woods. You still have all of this wind within this huge conglomerate of rain that's just sitting on northern Lake Michigan heading your way. And again, that's going to result in some flash flooding threat as well. So you have still wind and a flooding threat incoming for Leelanau County, even if you do make it through this first initial wave of wind as it pushes in right now through the Maple City, Suttons Bay, and Pshaw Beast Town. Someone said it in chat. It's different than what I was pronouncing it. Peshawby Town. I'm sure I'll get corrected multiple times in this. It's northern Michigan again. I've always struggled up here. It's okay. GR2 is depicting perhaps upwards of penny-size hail in there at the current time. Let's take a look at correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient, some of that violet color you see on your screen, is indeed changing over to more of oranges and yellows, which does denote that there is some jaggedness to the precipitation out there within this line, which means there's at least a little bit of hail tumbling around in the side of the storm. But for the most part, this is a bowing segment, and so damaging winds will be the main hazard. Still getting closer to Traverse City, but at the current time impacting locations I've already mentioned, such as Maple City, Cedar, Lake Leelanau, Fountain Point, and Leland. These storms are heading southeast. Speeds of 45. That's funny because the northern warning says east at 45. The southern says southeast at 45. So it's going both east and southeast, I guess you could say. And this line will continue to sag south overnight, eventually making it into central Michigan. The threat should remain overnight through 4 a.m. is our target time. So if we can make it through 4 a.m., we should be in the clear. Also, it depends on how much of this line makes it through the state overnight. We could see redevelopment tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon across southeast Michigan. If it really just decides to slow down overnight, we could see severe weather tomorrow off in Pennsylvania, Ohio, New England. Could start in southeast Michigan. So that's something to also keep in mind for tomorrow. We don't actually have a severe weather outlook scheduled for tomorrow, but it's something that should be noted now if it does indeed slow down significantly overnight. Ryan, I'm curious on our MSC app. I know, again, you guys really want your MSC app out, but what's the percentage of total severe on this storm right now in the Leelanau County area?
Stand by. I'll get it pulled up here.
Okay. Are you using PC or mobile?
Mobile. Or, no, sorry, PC.
Gotcha.
Probably the severe on the storm is 47%. 36% hail, 23% wind, 7% tornado.
Hail's more than wind, huh? Probably updraft size. Interesting.
Well, it might be on track here because I still don't have a single outage from this area. Oh, I lied. There's one.
Jinx it, Ryan.
Less than 20 customers up by just south of Leland.
New warning coming in.
Antrim, Grand Traverse, and Kalkaska. Until 11:45.
Well, it's a big morning. See the new orange box pop up on the screen here in just a second. Official details read Grand Traverse, Antrim. Yeah, it's all of those counties. Grand Traverse, Antrim, Kalkaska through 11:45 at 10:53. Severe thunderstorms located from Leelanau State Park to near Old Mission to near Bingham to Cedar. Movement is southeast at 55 miles per hour with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts leading the way. It is radar indicated. Locations in this new severe thunderstorm warning, which still has not popped up on my GR2 software. There we go. Taking forever here. We got Traverse City, Kalkaska, Elk Rapids, Mansalona, Bel Air, Ellsworth, Antrim, Sharon, Kingsley, Torch Lake, Central Lake, Fife Lake, Clam River, Keewatin, Sigma, Mapleton, Warner Township, Grawn, Traverse City State Park, and Elba. For protection, move to interior room on the lowest floor of the building. Storm motion vector 294 at 46. So that is this new orange box you see for all of Kalkaska, all of Antrim, and pretty much the remainder of Grand Traverse County. as these winds continue to push off to the southeast, now at speeds of 55. The shape of the storm is quite literally a dragon or some sort of seahorse. It makes kind of see it in the reds here. Very strong low level or rear inflow jet kind of pushing into the area, and then kind of a retrograde back to the north in this western cell. Very odd shape to it, but not uncommon. Winds in question right now that are currently severe warned are passing through Maple City up to Sutton's Bay and Peshabi Town. It looks like Peshabas Town. It's best. Greeleyville within the next 5 minutes. Traverse City still got maybe 10 minutes if you're lucky. I would still be taking shelter though right now if you're just now tuning in. The peninsula north of Traverse City should be in shelter now. This Boeing segment is now approaching land. Elk Rapids will be up next on the other side of the Grand Traverse Bay. Also, Williamsburg going to be getting in on the action up to the north towards Torch Lake and Eastport. And that's about as far north as it goes. Ellsworth also in that new warning now. If you're in Charlevoix Bayshore, you're going to be looking off to the south as a spectator for the most part at the current time. May still get a little gusty, but your severe winds will still be off to the south. The S is silent. Thank you, guys. Late night MSC crew is often fun because I spend probably 15% of the time trying to pronounce a city name that I have not pronounced before 150 different times. So welcome aboard. And again, it's tough because I've lived in Michigan my entire life. I know a lot of the cities, a lot of their quirks, and yet still there's a lot of cities out there we struggle with. So even as native Michiganders. But in that city of Peshabi Town, that wind is now through. Should be through. Same thing for Sutton's Bay. Greeleyville getting closer. Still waiting on a new scan to kind of confirm that. Latest scan was 255Z, which is 10:55, so about 3 minutes ago. And yeah, we'll wait for another scan here in just a second. But this is going to be into the peninsula now. And as we mentioned, this rain is arriving sometimes before the wind, so keep that in mind. Yeah, a lot of these blues are kind of back within the backside of this line, so you may see rain to start, and then that rain goes sideways. That's where you need to be taking shelter. Lightning at Boyne Mountain is nuts. Hopefully you're not up at the Sky Bridge. Not a good place to be right now. But yes, if you're safely on the ground and out of the tall area, probably a good lightning show out there tonight, especially if you look off to your west.
Outage update, still just that one.
Many trees down along M35 near Fuller Park Campground. That was as of 10:42. Thank you for passing that along, Julie. Is that from earlier today? M35. Yeah, that was over in the Menominee County area. Taking a look back at that. And it's pretty close to where that tornado warning was ongoing earlier, so would not be surprised if something happened there. Again, if you guys missed earlier today, we had at least 8 tornado warnings in the Upper Peninsula, 1 confirmed waterspout turned tornado as it came on shore. We have that video up on our page here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Feel free to go follow us on Facebook. It is there. Highly recommend not to intercept a waterspout turned tornado in a vehicle, but nevertheless, that did happen today. So we're glad that person was all right. But again, we do suggest substantial shelter is better than a vehicle when it comes to these tornadic thunderstorms that we saw. So it was something. Again, sheltering options right now for these severe thunderstorm warnings: interior room, lowest floor of the building. A basement obviously going to be your best option. Below ground, anywhere where you're away from walls where trees could come crashing in, because this could be widespread swaths of 60-mile-per-hour winds. Again, a lot of people kind of discredit your damaging wind factor here, but here in Michigan, we see a lot more damage from straight line winds than we do tornadoes every single year. So don't discourage, or don't discredit, I should say, these severe thunderstorm warnings that are currently in effect. We do have good news. The severe thunderstorm warning is now done officially. Expired there at 11 o'clock officially. So northern Leelanau County, you guys are good. However, you still have more storms in tow. We could see another severe thunderstorm warning perhaps down the road here if needed for the secondary swath that is still on Lake Michigan. So for now, Leland, Northport, up towards Peshawby Town and Sutton's Bay, you guys are in the clear. Winds are now off to your south and east.
Outage coming in near Sutton's Bay just now. 61 customers affected along the lake shore just south of Sutton's Bay along M22.
That is right where about 2 scans ago we had a pocket of 70 to 75. There's even a 77 pixel popping in here. You said where? What was it by 72 or M20?
It's
22.
Smith South Shore Drive along M22. It's just south of Sutton's Bay.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah,
Right
there.
there, they got it.
Yeah, I mean, pixels as they rolled over at 3,200 feet off the ground, 68 miles per hour, as high as 70 to the north of town there. And again, that's, as mentioned, about 3,200 feet off the ground, so it's not quite mixing to the ground, but newest scan brings those pixels now onto the peninsula north of Traverse City. Again, it's going to be M37 and Peninsula Drive here in the vicinity of Phelps Road. And heading down Kraupa Road, crossing over Smoky Hollow Road, heading towards the Elk Rapids area on the other side of the peninsula. New scan coming in for our velocity signature. Again, getting closer to Traverse City at the current time. Our Boeing segment is, oh boy, that is getting closer. Waiting for another velocity scan though to kind of confirm. There we go. Yeah, most of this wind right now, Greeleyville up to the top of the peninsula. We're still a pixel of 75, 76 here at 2,700 feet off the ground. Iman Road at Peninsula. So on the peninsula itself right now, some very gusty winds. That does line up with where that power outage was about 5 or 10 minutes ago. So that could be our pocket to watch. Velocity doesn't really intrigue me as much down here towards the Maple City and Greeleyville area for whatever reason. There's still a lot of blues though, Greeleyville north. Let us know what you guys are seeing or hearing in Greeleyville. I know you're in shelter probably, but if you can hear it upstairs, let us know. Is that... Kind of thinking out loud here. Could be a Bev. Kind of embedded in the backside of that line, Ryan. It's not the most impressive one I've seen, but it's in a spot where it wouldn't be uncommon. Let's keep an eye on that. For the severe thunderstorm warning for the rest of Leelanau County, 8 minutes left on that. Go back to the comments here. Just waiting to see if there's any sort of confirmation from the Greeleyville area in what you guys are seeing there, because that's kind of a place marker for how far south we're seeing the wind on velocity at the current time. We have a new scan coming in now. They're going 2 minutes, 30 seconds on every scan. So we got rapid scan mode. Also, again, a lot of blues showing up, elevated a little bit here to the north and the west. North Manitou and South Manitou Islands. The special marine warning still in effect here. These winds are still pretty intense. They also do... Uh-huh. Okay. Nope, never mind. That's the other one. I thought I said water spouts for a second, but it is just 50 knots of wind and small hail, which still impressive winds out there nonetheless at the current time. And again, that's still heading towards Leelanau County. So secondary storms heading in at the current time. Also just came in, Ryan, 49 mile per hour gust, 1 mile northeast of Leland via Mesonet. Were you going to say something?
No. No further outages have come in yet.
Got it. Again, these severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect for 60 mile per hour wind gusts that could be bringing down trees in the area. Kind of waiting and seeing what we hear out of this region. Again, this is out of an abundance of caution. They've issued these severe thunderstorm warnings. Decent bowing shape to it at the current time. Velocity is impressive, primarily Traverse City up north, primarily on that peninsula right now. Only because we do have confirmation of a couple outages now in Sutton's Bay. That is now this pocket of wind. And that is currently heading towards Elk Rapids. We have pixels right now on M37 on the peninsula. Still reading around 70 miles per hour. That's about 2,500 feet off the ground. 67 miles per hour, about a mile or two offshore from Elk Rapids. And again, that's going to continue off towards the east and southeast with time towards and over Torch Lake. And as you can see, this orange severe thunderstorm warning polygon does include all of Antrim and all of Kalkaska. So Antrim, Kalkaska is up next as this seahorse-looking severe thunderstorm moves in to your direction. Thank you, Storm Chaser Luke, $2 super chat saying hello. We got Jeremy M in here sending 5 gifted memberships. I wanted to point out here from Jared the Man, $4.99 super chat. He is joining the stream tonight saying, looking like the worst of the storms are hitting south of Petoskey and Charlevoix. He appreciates our work, and he's on a boat in CVX. I imagine that stands for Charlevoix. So stay safe out there. Marine warning in effect, so you shouldn't be like all the way out in the waters, but definitely keep an eye on it. I know you're making smart decisions out there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. And again, stay safe. And yes, it should stay to your south. Mr. Nice Guy, 628, $5 super chat saying, or asking about Cadillac. Cadillac in the threat tonight for damaging winds. Again, it's the entire lower peninsula is in some sort of threat. There's just better odds further north tonight. As you can see, this is where the only storms are currently at. We're still struggling to see if anything does sag south here, reform in the Green Bay and Oshkosh region overnight crossing Lake Michigan. So welcome in, everyone. If you're just tuning in, this is probably the end of hour 1 of maybe 6 hours or so of severe weather coverage. We'll see. We'll be up late with you guys, so feel free to smash that like button. Feel free to share it with your friends and family that may be impacted tonight by severe weather. We'll be hanging out at answering questions on occasion and rattling off severe thunderstorm warnings as they come in.
We have more outages coming in near Bingham, just east of Lake Leelanau. Got a couple individual outages, about 7 in total that I count. Maybe 8. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 outages. Sorry.
You said it was where?
Bingham, just east of Lake Leelanau.
So Sutton's Bay.
No, go south.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Lake Leelanau is so long. I thought you were talking about this. I thought you were talking about the city for a second.
Yeah, there's a lot of outages coming in now in that area. Actually, there's quite a few hundred outages now coming in. So where you see where it says Bingham,
Yep, I got it now. I found it.
it's going to be along Lakeview Hills Road, as well as Lakeview Hills Road. About 300 customers are out in total in the area.
And that was right where this little pocket of darker blue showed up on velocity. So that was 73.8 at 3,300 feet off the ground. Center highway. And it kind of dissipated. So that line of wind, which is now in Elk Rapids along US 31 here, north of Williamsburg, is now back on shore. Kind of switching through our heights in the atmosphere to see where and how our jet is performing. Yeah.
The MSC storm risk on the cell moving into Glen Arbor, just north of Glen Arbor over the lake, is currently saying it has a 69% chance of being severe.
Heading towards Glen Arbor?
Yeah, the one heading into Glen Arbor, yeah.
Nice. That severe thunderstorm warning expires in 59 seconds, by the way. So they're going to have to, if anything, issue a new warning.
We'll hear a ding ding coming in here any second.
I would not be surprised if we get a flood advisory next, actually.
Yeah.
I do not have radar products that tell me accumulation, unfortunately. That would be something you would have to get for me.
I do have it. Storm total so far. Seems off. Do some investigating. That's more like it.
So there's a bunch of different accumulation products out there.
Yeah, it's not too much yet because it just first arrived, so we may have to wait a little bit for the advisory, but could imagine we're gonna get one issued here. Well, it is 11:15 and there's no new warning, so perhaps they're gonna let it go.
And they have
The lack of reports. I still think we'll get one here. Get one here pretty soon.
GR2 has a 1-inch hail marker offshore too from Glen Arbor. Yeah, I mean,
I do not have GR2 pulled up, so that's news to me.
there is decent core in there. It has moved. I mean, yeah, you're still seeing these reds changing to pinks out there. It's still a decent core. It's not the most impressive like we saw earlier today when we saw those 3-inch hailstones in Rock, Michigan. By the way, those photos are up on our page if you guys want to go check them out. But still, very heavy looking thunderstorm out there as it's moving into the Traverse City region at the current time. And right now, again, wind is in the Elk Rapids area. The only warning in effect right now is this big old box that includes all of Antrim, pretty much all of Kalkaska, and pretty much all of Grand Traverse County, except for this tiny little sliver down here south of Kingsley. Also of note, there may be an outflow boundary. I can't confirm it entirely, but it does look like it's trying to produce an outflow boundary here out ahead of the line, which would extend down towards the Beulah and Thompsonville area if it continues to gust outward. It's going to be hard to see on radar per se, so you may still be seeing the wind in the southern half of the severe thunderstorm warning, but you may not get the precipitation until later, which is very interesting because if you go to the north, the wind is actually embedded within the precipitation band. You might get the rain before the wind, so it's kind of flip-flop depending if you're on the north side or the south side of the severe thunderstorm warning.
Very large outages now coming in just north of Traverse City, between Traverse City, Sutton's Bay area. I'm getting close to almost 1,000 people out of power now between those two areas.
I think they're correcting the outages that were already placed. What's interesting about Consumer's map is anytime an outage is called in, it pops up as a blue speck. So every single blue speck you see is a person calling in. At least over the years of watching the outage map, that's usually what happens. And then they eventually congeal all of those blue specks into this big old zone. But yeah, that's a 923 customers now without power. Bingham to Fouch in north of Greeleyville.
We have an MD update incoming. I'll get on that and figure out what it's about.
Okay. The Acme area, Elk Lake, Rapid City, Alden area is being impacted now by some of this wind. Southside Torch Lake, actually really just all of Torch Lake at the current time. The strongest of the winds right now that I'm seeing in the latest scan is going to be just to the southeast of Elk Rapids on that southeast corner of Torch Lake at Torch River. This is going to be directly on Cherry Avenue at Hoopfer Road. And that is going to be near and south of Ringler Road and Slippery Lane. Nope, that's Shippey Lane. That is in between Torch Lake and Elk Lake at the current time. So you can see all of these little blues that have just popped up there. A couple pixels here showing up at around 67 to 68 miles per hour. Also over Wingash Mikun Road, if that's how it's truly pronounced. Continuing off to the east-southeast, so put it in between Kalkaska and Mansalona within probably the next 10 minutes or so. And again, this is primarily a damaging wind threat. Movement southeast officially at 55 miles per hour. 60 mile per hour wind gusts are the hazard. Your protection move to interior room on the lowest floor of the building. Do not want to be out in these 60 mile per hour winds. And there's a large swath of blue heading once again towards Leelanau County.
Very localized MD here for the line out ahead of this. It does say the threat continues. And it goes on for the mumbo jumbo and just kind of goes into the breakdown. There is a RIJ there watching.
That's the one that's producing the wind right now in Elk Rapids area, I believe. Let's see what I'm reading off here. Damaging wind potential will extend from Grand Traverse Bay towards Saginaw Bay. At 11:10, radar imagery indicated a Boeing storm complex with an associated bookend vortex. I knew it. Bookend vortex. There we go. Moving over Grand Traverse Bay, volumetric base velocity data from KAPX suggests some indication of that RIJ with 50 knots inbound speed as low as about 3,000 feet off the ground. Proximity soundings suggest storms are slightly elevated and rooted within a moist layer centered around 850 millibars. Stable near-surface layers expected to limit the potential for more concentrated damaging wind event. However, seasonably strong vertical wind shear and influx of stronger instability from the west will remain supportive of strong updrafts and downdrafts capable of sporadic occurrences of 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Extrapolation of the current system motion takes it to the northwest of Saginaw Bay by around 1 a.m. So within the next hour and a half, this line of storms will somehow make it from, I would imagine because it's going to be increasing in speed with time here, making it from Traverse City area all the way down towards the Saginaw Bay. There's a current projected movement on this line. So we'll see. Yeah, there's your 68 to 69 mile per hour winds right now, right on the south side of Torch Lake. In the Torch River area. And again, on the lake, there's a lot less friction out there, so it's a little bit easier for that wind to kind of increase. And the micro scale features. It's south East Torch Lake Road, officially, near Serenity Trail and the county line, and Alden Meadows Drive. That is where these winds are quite strong. Again, this entire complex is being driven by a little bit of that bookend vortex RIJ feature that does show signs of blowing out. However, our general reflectivity is also trying to fade on this RIJ. So secondary RIJ within the main stuff in Leelanau County? Well, guess we'll see. Curious to see how this will validate here offshore of Glen Arbor and Leland again. Again, there's some pretty decent wind velocities out here. Still seeing 70 plus at 4,800 feet heading in towards the Leland and Glen Arbor region once again. But as we were just reading off in that mesoscale discussion, a lot of this right now is not mixing well down to the ground, which is a good sign. That's why we're also seeing limited power outages. But when it does mix to the ground, it could be upwards of 70 miles per hour, and that can bring down wider swaths of trees.
Speaking of outages, we've kind of capped ourselves here. Latest couple of updates, right around 1,500 people out, or should I say customers. And a lot of that came from one outage that is sitting just north of Traverse City. 923 customers affected by that. Cause is storm damage.
Yep.
So no surprise there. Otherwise, besides that outage, the only other outages we have are up by Sutton's Bay, where we have about 20 customers affected. Sorry, 61 customers affected. And then there's one up near Lake Leland on the north side, just south of Leland, where 23 customers are affected. So really, Joel, we only have 3 outages across these areas. In the broad scheme of things, that's pretty isolated for what's going on right now.
Yeah. The good news is, as I mentioned here, that reading off that mesoscale discussion, that makes sense. Again, not surface based, but it's close to being surface based. It's close enough where we are seeing a couple pockets of that 60 mixing to the surface, and so these warnings will continue until morale improves. So, again, we're watching these severe thunderstorm warnings pop in. We'll also see that we'll have to see what this pocket back off to the west here does, because there's a lot of lightning out there, and as we mentioned in our stream earlier, that lightning uptick right now can be a sign of strengthening across the area. And again, that's quite the pocket of rain at the very least moving into Leelanau County at the current time. Do you like that? Welcome to MSC After Hours, where we sometimes throw in zingers, I guess. Keep it lighthearted. There's not a whole lot going on out there right now, but there are a couple splotches of 60 mile per hour winds kind of hanging out here on the south side of Torch Lake in the Torch River vicinity. And again, that's what was responsible for some of the outages back here north of Greelickville about 20 to 30 minutes ago now. So, you know, when there's not a whole lot to talk about, it's a good sign. Keep it that way. Confirmed thunderstorm wind gust at 11:19 p.m., 2 miles southeast of Traverse City. This is at the Cherry Capital Airport of 55 miles per hour. Once again, that is at 11:19 officially for that report. Also, report of trees down on the west side of downtown Traverse City, confirmed via law enforcement. So some sort of stronger winds have moved through. And despite the fact they're not looking that impressive on the south side of the storm, they are still packing a punch. So, you know, you're not seeing these blues on velocity that you're seeing down here along the M186 corridor heading towards South Boardman. But we just had 2 reports come in from the National Weather Service and Gaylord. 55-mile-per-hour winds at the airport and tree damage on the west side of Traverse City. So strong to severe ongoing right now here south of Williamsburg. Been doing this all day. This is actually one of the first times in a while, Ryan, I think that we started the day with severe and ended the day with severe, with also severe coverage in the middle. I know it happens every once in a while, but at least for me, this is the first time where I woke up and I'm going to bed with severe weather coverage on both ends of the day. So fun times here in Michigan in July. Still watching the moderate to dark blues heading in towards Glen Arbor. First up would be Port Oneida Road and South Lane Road near, there's another road here, South Baker Road. So 3 different roads here. That is where these winds are heading first. As you can see, actually, if you go up in the elevation here, you can see that RIJ is a very strong rear inflow jet at 1.3 degrees. So that pushes up to about almost 2 miles above the surface. You do have that jet kicking in at 90 miles per hour plus. So there's plenty of support out there for these winds to at least kind of meander across the area and perhaps give us a little bit of a false return. But at the current time, we're fairly stable at the surface and not really seeing many other outages coming in yet. So good news so far. I will also try to remember that that peninsula north of Traverse City is Old Mission Peninsula. Thank you for sending that in chat. I believe that was a super chat from Joshua D, $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Joshua. Also saying thank you for all you guys do. No problem, Josh. Kay Hamilton, back for month number 24, asking about severe Lansing area. Again, we'll kind of play it as it goes. Appreciate your support for 2 years here at MSC. Fridonia, back for month number 9 as a gold member. Bingham was my grandparents' home. Many fond memories there, picking cherries on their farm. That's an awesome story. They did get hit tonight by these storms, so hopefully everything's okay over there. And rain and wind do continue across the area. We're not done yet here in Leelanau County. Fast forward it to the next scan. There's a trim, finally, of that severe thunderstorm warning. Kingsley has been removed from the severe thunderstorm warning, and that may be the only main city. Green Lake, Duck Lake, Interlaken, Grawn, Hilltop, Mayfield also out of the severe thunderstorm warning. Also down towards Summit City, McManus Corner, Walnut Junction, and Walton. Sorry, that's Walton Junction and Walton. Fife Lake still in the severe thunderstorm warning with those winds primarily just off to your north at the current time. Marine wind gust has been reported of 47 miles per hour, 1 mile southeast of Greelickville. Wind is now arriving at Port Oneida Road in the Good Harbor area, I believe is what it's called. Or not Good Harbor. But yeah, it's Good Harbor. And Sleeping Bear Bay.
Flash flood warning. You just mentioned that about 30 minutes ago, Joel. Well, you said flood advisory, but same thing applies.
I said I would start with the flood advisory, but go straight to that flash flood warning. It makes sense with how much rain is still expected to fall across the area, so that is going to be pretty much all of Leelanau County. Issued by the National Weather Service in Gaylord, Leelanau County till 3:30 a.m. Text does read at 11:33. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Already a half inch to upwards of 2 inches of rain have already fallen, with additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2.5 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Hazard here, of course, flash flooding caused by thunderstorms. Leland, Empire, Sleeping Bear Point, Bingham, Glen Arbor, Sutton's Bay, Cedar, Maple City, Fouch, Lake Leelanau, Burdickville, Greelickville, Glen Haven, Peshawby Town, Almina, and Good Harbor in this flash flood warning. Turn around, don't drown when encountering flooded roadways. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Also, be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Washed out roads may be very difficult to see at night. Flooding is occurring or imminent. It is important to know where you are relative to streams, rivers, or creeks, which can become killers in heavy rains. Campers and hikers should avoid streams or creeks at this time. Radar indicated. And now we're starting to see that turn south here. It's following that mesoscale discussion, Ryan. That jet pulling it southeast. Straight through Kalkaska County. Can loop it back and forth. You can see how that RIJ has kind of pushed that to the south now. And again, that's going to drive our storms a little bit further south into central Michigan, especially south of M55 later tonight, getting closer to that 1 a.m. time frame. So a little bit slower on the timing as it currently stands, but that inflow jet should kind of kick things up as we get throughout the overnight hours. There's some speed shear also ramping up throughout the night across central and southern Wisconsin. Those storms get caught in that speed shear as it drifts south. That should kind of push it a little bit quicker across central Michigan and southern Michigan into the early morning hours. So, also, this has been quite the storm over here offshore of Alpena. Haven't been paying much attention to that one out of all honesty, but this storm has kind of just been a thunderstorm and flood threat with a decent amount of lightning at the current time. That's not really in a favorable environment compared to the storms off to the west. And so this will primarily be a hazard, of course, on Lake Huron. But Alpena, again, you'll have a decent light show out there if you take your cameras and point them to the east. We'll have that for probably another half hour or so, maybe even another hour until those storms make it over into the Ontario area. So good light show out there. Nothing of concern in the Alpena region. M32 over towards Atlanta, Montmorency County. Main concern right now inside of that severe thunderstorm warning box where 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible. And indeed, there is an outflow boundary forming on this now, Ryan. It kind of extends a little bit south towards the Kingsley area. Glen Arbor to Leland, how's it hanging over there? Again, still watching these blue pixels kind of move on shore at the current time. Similar to what we saw earlier, 65 to 75, kind of up there at about 4,000 feet above the ground. So hanging out right at the top of that stable layer. And perhaps not getting any lower than that. But again, if it's happening otherwise, let us know. But your safety is more important right now. So if you're in shelter in your basement, that is okay by us. Your safety is key here. And once it's safe to do so, feel free to report any wind damage in to us here at MSC, or you can send it into the National Weather Service Gaylord. They're on Facebook and X at U.S. National Weather Service Gaylord, or at NWS Gaylord if you're following them on X. So whatever way you want to get those reports in, we do appreciate them. We can send them in through us or through the National Weather Service directly so they can plug it into their database. It's a pretty favorable environment right now, actually, for this line of storms. And thankfully, I will say this, thankfully that this line is not surface based, because this is still a very decent environment, similar to what we saw in the Upper Peninsula earlier today, here across Leelanau and Benzie and Grand Traverse counties at the current time. If it was surface based, obviously we'd be dealing with the tornadoes, but at the current time, as we continue to mention here, it is a little less surface based. So these storms are kind of firing about 3,000 to 4,000 feet up. It's not really tapping into that low level instability that's available out there. And that's usually what happens at night. You get these storms becoming less surface based due to the cooling at the surface. So regardless, though, supercell composite, if you guys know what we're talking about here, 16 on the supercell composite. STP reading at a 2 right now. So it is a decent environment. Hodographs are fairly elongated. It's just that it is not surface based. So we are thankful for that. Yeah, this snake-looking feature is your rear inflow jet that is now back building into the Traverse City area. Again, we're kind of looking for reports from Leelanau County at the current time. There, you can see these blues right now inside of that storm. That would be gusty winds, typically speaking. But again, that is 3,700 feet off the ground, so we're not entirely sure how much of that is mixing the ground. So we do appreciate reports in person here in chat. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy watching for the first time tonight. Saying you guys are so professional. Pouring here in Traverse City. Hopefully you guys don't flood out there. There's no flash flood warning quite yet for Traverse City, but boy, is it close. That green line you see there is, it's, I would say, mere feet away from downtown Traverse City, because again, it's not in Grand Traverse County. Although I would not be surprised with this back building storm moving into Grand Traverse County right now that we see an extension of maybe a flood advisory or a new flash flood warning here across the region. So be on alert. Thank you again for tuning in tonight, Kathy. Appreciate it. And to all of our new friends and family that have tuned in tonight, appreciate you guys for tuning in as well. Again, we've been around since 2022. We cover every single severe thunderstorm warning in the state from beginning to end. And so, yes, on nights like tonight, we're probably going to pull an all-nighter. So feel free to hang out with us, chat it up in chat, or sometimes business casual. but we can be serious when the time comes, which right now, again, we're watching a couple pockets of 60 to perhaps 65 mile per hour winds rolling across the area. I would imagine this has got to be verifying at some point here. This is getting closer. This is now below that 850 millibar level. And I'm still getting 62 mile per hour wind right now at Bass Lake Road and M66. So that's just south of Kalkaska. What is the power outage map saying?
Not much happening.
Intriguing.
Between Kalkaska and Rapid City areas, there's not one reported.
That's getting closer to the radar site, so that's closer to ground truth. They're going statement. Extension south. New statement coming in. This is a level below a severe thunderstorm warning. So think of it as severe thunderstorm light. Severe thunderstorm junior or something like that. Special weather statement now in issued for Western Crawford, Northwestern Roscommon, Kalkaska, and Northeastern Missaukee counties through 12:30 a.m. At 11:41 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms along a line extending from Dara to Kalkaska to South Boardman, moving east at 45, and it's more like southeast, I would imagine. And it's very, very close to severe criteria. Still saying wind gusts of 50 to 55 with pea-sized hail, also possible. Impact here, gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Minor hail damage to vegetation is possible. Kalkaska, Grayling, Roscommon, Sharon, Frederick, Higgins Lake, North Higgins Lake, Sigma, Dara, South Boardman, Morristown, South Higgins Lake, Hartwick Pine State Park, Stittsville, Blue Lake Township, and Smithville are in this special weather statement. If outdoors, it is considered a good idea to seek shelter inside a building. So they are believing that this line is getting below severe limits, and they have not made a statement on these gusty winds in Leelanau County. So they also believe that at this current time, even though there are pixels of 66 miles per hour on Charnowski Road near South Lakeshore Drive, that 3,500 feet off the ground is not enough confidence to issue a severe thunderstorm warning here for Leelanau County. It is quite the thunderstorm, though. It is still a strong thunderstorm, I would imagine. Again, if you are in Leelanau County, you might be blinded by the light. I'm not going to sing the rest of the lyrics because, again, it's a song, but you guys get it. Okay. Well, Ryan's singing tonight, so congratulations. There's the next clip for our MSC archive. A lot of lightning out there, Leelanau County over towards the Grand Traverse County region, and the light show does continue.
In my interesting. I'm at the point now where I have half drawn out thoughts and I just forget the words I want to say, and it just kind of doesn't come out fully.
Got
That's accurately.
Hazy head, yeah.
That's actually a good term for it.
Yeah.
Looking at the radar here, I did not realize we're warning free. I just now realized that.
It just got canceled.
Okay. Looking at the Elmira area, looks like there's going to be a couple downbursts in that area there too. Just popped up.
Oh yeah, I was looking south, but further north. Wood Road. Hey, this is that same area that got impacted by those downbursts multiple times already this
Like,
year. This is probably
yeah,
part 97 of northeastern Kalkaska, southeastern Antrim being impacted by these isolated downbursts. So congratulations. Well, I'm looking more towards the Kalkaska Manzanillo area, but yeah, I also see up there to the north as well. In the north end of that bookend vortex, as you were, I'm guessing this is the one you're talking about, Elmira to Gaylord. But yeah, still same area that's been impacted. Yeah, that's definitely a downburst there, just outside of Gaylord, right there on Elba Road. See the reds and greens kind of spreading apart from each other as time progresses. If you're in Gaylord, be prepared for gusty winds right now. Special weather statement. There's no statements in effect for Otsego County, but would not be surprised if we get one here for those downburst winds. Rise Against says, well, there goes monetization. After Ryan saying, it's not that, it won't happen like that. That's funny though. Well, we are warning free, so we're now getting into delirium hours here, where we kind of watch probably 10 more special weather statements roll in. I am honestly shocked that we do not have some sort of statement or warning coming in yet for Leelanau, Benzie, or Grand Traverse County. It's still a strong thunderstorm with hints at stronger winds mixing in here, but as you mentioned again, no outages additionally coming at the current time, so not all of this wind is mixing down on the surface, but yeah, it's
I mean,
still impressive line.
we haven't had a new outage pop in a while.
Right.
It's still at the same number. I'll refresh it just to make sure, but yeah, there's no update. So either the map's broken or there's no update.
We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in Green Bay.
Seriously?
The start of something new. I feel like there's a song lyric to that. I'm sure someone in the comments will add on to it.
Hey Siri.
No. Stop it.
Oh man, the Tigers took the lead, Joel.
Oh no, tears. Not.
We have an inner rivalry going on because I'm a Cubs fan, and then Joel's a hardcore Tigers fan. They're playing tonight, so go Cubs, go!
Nope. Go Tigers. Go
Nope.
Tigers.
I didn't realize the Tigers are doing that bad this year. I thought they were doing a lot better than that.
They had a pretty bad May. I think it
Yeah,
was
that
May.
explains it.
They went like, I don't know, 3 and everything in May or something like that. So they dug themselves a hole, but now they got healthy again. So they're trying to claw their way back in that wild card race. They're about probably 3 games out. Sports fanatics in chat, feel free to let me know if I'm right or wrong.
I'm more inclined, Joel, based off latest guidance, back to like 22Z and looking at trends now. I'm seriously doubting we're going to get any precipitation really south of Grand Rapids area. There's nothing back in Wisconsin or Illinois coming that direction, and what's in northern may only dip as far south as the Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
So perhaps Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit areas staying dry throughout the night. Seems to be a trend right now.
And it kind of does line up with the discussion I put out prior to when we went severe warned here for the Lower Peninsula. Again, odds of severe south of really 96, 69, 15% or less overnight, just because, again, confidence right now in something even developing is pretty low. So we'll see, though. our RFS did nail it today, at least in the Upper Peninsula.
The RFS model is about to replace all of our usual models this fall, so be ready for that.
Yeah, despite the fact it is egregious when it comes to printing out, large precipitation swaths, it still does pretty good on placement.
Yeah, it's been doing better and better as time's gone on. It used to be outrageous and be completely unhinged, but they toned it back a little bit. But it overdoes reflectivity, yes.
Yeah. That's what it was from. I accidentally dropped a High School Musical reference. Started something new from High School Musical. For that cell over in Green Bay. Best way to remember it. It could be the start of something new, but it is still quite the small cell when you put it into a retrospect to the storms that are over here in Leelanau County. But we saw this earlier in Wisconsin. You had a 2-hour period where every single storm that popped up in Wisconsin, it felt like every single one of those storms, they were small, low topped, and yet they had tornado warnings in every single storm. So it was small yet mighty. And we have yet another small yet mighty thunderstorm impacting the radar site in Green Bay right now in downtown Green Bay. That is eventually heading off to the east-southeast. That current trajectory, if it stays together, probably close to the Ludington area within the next couple hours. So that's probably going to be close to the 1:30 time frame if it does get down that way for Ludington. We're going to be up watching these storms for a while, probably. Severe thunderstorm watch does remain in effect through 2 a.m. Primary hazards include scatter damaging wind gusts up to 70, isolated very large hail events up to 2 inches in diameter. That was probably prior to night. I don't really see much in the way of hail cores out there. And they do have Tornado 2 apostles still listed on that severe thunderstorm watch. So, yeah. But it's a waiting game. Any reports are appreciated at the current time. But if you guys have no reports, that is also a good sign that nothing's really happening out there. Yeah, if it does slow down, there could be a little bit of redevelopment in the midday time frame tomorrow for Southeast Michigan. It's kind of the start of what is expected to be another big event across the Ohio and Pennsylvania regions up into the New England areas tomorrow afternoon and evening. Again, it's got to start somewhere, and depending on how slow this boundary moves through overnight, we may see backwards propagation popping up across Illinois, Washtenaw, Wayne, Monroe County areas. It's not out of the question, especially given that it is now midnight and these storms are running about an hour-ish behind schedule right now. So, I mean, it's definitely in the realm of possibility. So, they're definitely running a lot further behind schedule for, well, West Michigan because there has not been any precipitation there. But again, you guys probably can't complain. It's better to have nothing at all than deal with that severe weather. So, a couple bolts from the blue here, Ryan. According to my radar. Dangerous. Go back to velocity, which is our wind radar, the reds and the greens. Some people call it the Christmas colored radar. The downburst right now in the Elmira area is still there. We have a second one popping up Oh, that's not right. What is happening there? Radar's puzzling sometimes. That is not anywhere underneath a thunderstorm. That is odd. Boyne Falls. There's virtually no precipitation there yet on velocity. There is.
I saw that, Joel. I also wrote it off pretty quickly just because there's no reflectivity max there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Usually, yeah. Usually you do see some
What
sort of
flipping earth was
reflectivity.
that?
Everyone else can see this, right? We're not going delirious here, are we? That's interesting. You flip it between, here's your reflectivity, here's the intensity of the rain that's falling. It's essentially just light showers moving through the Boyne Falls area. Do I 3D slice it? I mean, some things sometimes cannot be explained. What are we doing in chat? Lake effect lightning is not a thing. Stop it. Lake effect heat lightning. You guys are I thought I was delirious. You guys are even more delirious. Please stop with the heat lightning stuff. It does not exist. I'm not afraid to break hearts here. I will continue to repeat it until I'm blue in the face. Does not exist. No, lake effect lightning. Chat is messing with you guys. Lake effect lightning does not exist. Heat lightning does not exist. Is there any other things that I forgot to mention that do not exist? I'm gonna ban everyone in chat. I'm just kidding. You guys sometimes drive me nuts, but it's all in good fun. Ryan has disappeared into the void, if you guys were curious. No, he's probably taking a break. Yeah, so we're kind of just chilling right now. There's not much going on. And again, we're looking at these velocity signatures on radar, these greens changing over to the blues, or you would typically on a severe weather event, if it wasn't at night, this wind would be mixing down to the ground. This is 63 to 64 mile per hour wind over Burdickville Road. So if you're watching from Maple City and Empire right now, you guys are sitting there going, woo, I'm glad it's 4,500 feet above our heads and not 0 feet above our heads. So you got that going for you. But unfortunately, there's that flash flood warning in effect right now through 3:30 a.m. at the very latest. Lots of rain out there. Upwards of 4.5 inches of rain are possible by the time the storm moves through. And we could see more extensions of flash flood warnings a little bit further south here into Grand Traverse County with time. Ryan has returned from the void.
If only you knew.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much. You missed chat talking about lake effect heat lightning, and I almost lost it.
Oh, I heard it all.
Yeah, well,
I heard it all.
and I said,
And then some.
yeah, and I said, I'm going to break some hearts. I don't even care if I have to say it multiple times. Heat lightning doesn't exist. Heat lightning doesn't exist. You got to be kidding me. I'm just kidding.
Interesting, though, the velocity in the Elmira area is very interesting on the SRV.
Well, this wouldn't be the weirdest thing that happened today. We literally saw Fujiwara happen on Lake Superior, so that was fun.
Yeah, there's still no new outages here, so I'm inclined to say everything out there right now, including this bigger storm over Traverse City, is elevated at this point.
Yeah. This is the most MSC After Hours stream we've had so far. We've only been live for hour 47. It's been a long day. Usually when you get these long days where you have part 1, part 2 coverage, and then you get to the part 3 coverage, and it's just like, all right, I want sleep.
Exactly.
It
That's where we're at right now.
it can get pretty weird. Again, we're pretty professional, obviously, when the time is right to be or when the time is right and we're able to lock in. But right now, there's no warnings to talk about, and everything that we usually see on radar is signs of 60-mile-per-hour winds. Doesn't even have a special weather statement on it, which, as a reminder, would be a severe thunderstorm junior or light, I guess you could call it. The only warning technically that we have, besides that special marine warning in the blue, is that flash flood warning for Leelanau County, which expires in 3 hours and 27 minutes, and then some. So,
Well, we should get Caleb on here to do some pronunciations. Kidding.
he's probably well asleep,
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
resting up for 5:37 a.m. severe weather coverage in Gary, Indiana.
You did not just say that.
That's oddly specific. If there's a severe thunderstorm warning at 5:37 a.m. in Gary, Indiana, Eastern time, of
Like-
course, I might just get every forecast right from now on. It's just the way it is. I don't make the rules. I'm a fortune teller. Flood warning in Kingsley. I don't see any sort of flood product yet for Kingsley, but I would not be shocked if there was one coming. Most of that rain really hasn't impacted Kingsley yet, so it's interesting if they're getting an alert down there. Odd. Well, we'll flip it over to ZDR radar just to see how these storms are surviving. Decent amount of positive buoyancy across Benzie, Grand Traverse, and Kalkaska counties. Neutral buoyancy in the Otsego County area, and everything else pretty much is falling apart. We may get to sleep by 2:30 a.m. if we're lucky, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. Well, I will also make mention of our super chats that I have not read off yet. And Julie, already with a $5 super chat, the most recent one that I haven't read off, of course, it says, do you ever feel like a plastic bag, blinded by the light on June 24th? Boy, that's pulling out all the stops.
She just uppercutted you.
On top of the fact that her
That's
name,
right.
her full profile name is Julie Heat Lightning T. Just SMH my head right now. Certified S $5 super chat. Man, I told you that would summon it. That you would summon it into existence. I'm not sure what that's referencing. Must be something storm related. Either way, thank you, certified. Ashley Leprat, back for month number 3, saying it feels so right to be here with you. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. We're always glad to have our MSC family watching even after hours. Shane S, back for month number 22. I keep saying that today for some reason. I keep saying 22, but I add the number 20 in front of it, so I keep saying 2022. Weird. But back from month number 22, saying, Joel, your no ducks given dry humor and sarcasm throws us all for a loop here in chat. Laughing face emoji. Thank you. Kind of surviving here tonight, and thankfully right now for the Lower Peninsula, we're kind of stress and free. So we're able to kind of be more relaxed with you guys. So we like the streams that are like this, but we also do kind of want to sleep at some point. So thank you as always, Shane, for your support back from month number 22, as I mentioned. I also forgot to read off like all of the jewels that have been given here. Isaac. Oh, there's this. I didn't realize you were putting the duck on the screen, Ryan. I was watching the
I
replay.
was.
Isaac sending a couple sets of jewels. Shadow Raven, Christina, Travis, Carolyn, Lindsay, Shadow Raven again. Dragon, Shadow Raven, again, all of these jewels. Appreciate you guys. Daniel, Asher, 1,000 jewels. Jared, Shadow, Rise Against, and Christina G. All sending a plethora there. Shadow Raven once again, and Sam Watches, 10 jewels. Andrew Cherry with 12. And Fun Times with 3 sets of 10. CJA Puggy also joining us back for month number 3 as a silver member, saying late night crew, 3 exclamation points. Appreciate you, CJA. Thank you for bouncing off the walls with us tonight. We're definitely bouncing off the walls over here. Not really. Oh, we finally do have a storm report in chat. MF saying small bit of hail mixing in northwest Traverse City now. Would that be pea size? Is my follow-up question. Or slightly larger? Keep getting messages from Alpena, people over in Alpena. A lot of lightning over there, asking if they're okay. Yeah, you guys are okay. These storms in question are over Lake Huron. Big old light show over there. There's also a couple storms in Gaylord, or just to the east of Gaylord, heading in towards the Atlanta area, Montmorency County. Isolated downburst potential is there. There's one little pocket right now. Actually, that has grown in the latest scan up towards Camp 8 Road. 1,200 feet off the ground, 1,300 feet off the ground. Island Hill Road. By the time they issue a warning on that, downburst might be gone. But that is there on SRV radar and on base velocity. That is definitely a confirmed downburst. You can actually see it if you loop it back and forth here, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The greens and the reds going in the opposite directions. Again, kind of south of Canada Creek Ranch, heading about 3 or 4 miles north of Atlanta at the current time. We do have a couple cameras that are going to be impacted by this weather here soon. Some free entertainment for everybody would be watching our weather cameras as the lightning comes in. Got Cadillac cam, Roscommon cam, St. Helen cam, and wait, Lewiston, Roscommon, St. Helen, Houghton, Lake, and Cadillac are the 5. And I guess you could say Manistee, but RIP Manistee.
Yeah.
Tears. I missed that camera. Well, one of them anyways. Wow. Let me confirm that with Green Bay radar real quick. Make sure I'm not seeing things here.
Bolt.
There is very weak rotation, about 20 nautical miles offshore from Frankfurt, in a favorable environment, but as soon as that comes on shore, it's going to turn into nothing but a shower, which is good. You said Bolt? Are you live?
I did say Bolt.
Ha. Winds crazy in Traverse City, reported by Jake here in chat. How crazy is crazy? Because we've had people that call 30-mile-per-hour winds crazy before. And that's barely a strong thunderstorm.
Ooh, another bolt.
Sweet.
Courtesy here of Eagle Point Real Estate. This is facing south in the east part of Lewiston.
If you're in Traverse City right now, by the way, it's rain central at the current time. Also getting reports now of perhaps upwards of half-inch hail now falling in Traverse City. So if you guys have hail reports to send over to us, feel free to drop it in the comments on one of our other posts, or send it in to our Discord server, discord.gg/Michigan Storm Chasers. We do appreciate you guys' reports. We'll even take a DM right now, because then we can, I guess, toss it over to the National Weather Service in Gaylord, and they can maybe slap a statement on it, because there's no statements on the storm right now. So yeah, Traverse City got hit with that initial burst of wind, which is at the current time heading towards the Roscommon area, that rear inflow jet, as we mentioned. If I go back to my radar here, that was this pocket right now that is, again, over all the way into the Grayling area, and secondary
Joel,
line popping up. Well, go ahead.
animate that radar loop.
What about it?
No, zoom in on Traverse City. Watch how that part just kind of punched down in a matter of 2 or 3 scans. Zoom out just a bit.
Oh, I see it. Right here.
It's just like, yeah, it went like, boom, it's like right there. It's weird.
Yeah, that's a very strong. Look at our ZDR radar. Updraft buoyancy, very strong with that cell popped up. Oh, the National Weather Service in Gaylord has issued a statement, but it's for the storm that is kind of following its own little path out here in Montmorency County. It is for the cell in Atlanta. The National Weather Service in Gaylord has issued a special weather statement for central Montmorency County through 12:45 a.m. At 12:12, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm over Riley Township, or near Atlanta, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Hazard, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's 50. Radar indicated locations in this special weather statement include Atlanta, Hillman, and Briley Township. If you are outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside a building. Also, as a reminder, a severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect till 2 a.m. for northern Michigan. Whew. So this cell here in Atlanta, velocity radar, that is what they're looking at right now. The red's changing over to more of these yellows. That pixel actually is 65 miles per hour at 1,600 feet off the ground, so that would be severe. On a normal day, of course. Meaford Road and Mills Road. But again, as I mentioned, it's not much of a normal day. And there we go. Kind of expected to happen here. We do have that flash flood warning now coming in. That will probably be posted on our page here. Yes, there we go. There's the notification on our X account. Flash flood warning now in effect. Grand Traverse County. Go ahead and read the details off on that. So weather is happening. Our calm weather has been replaced by flash flood warning and a special weather statement back to back. National Weather Service in Gaylord has issued a flash flood warning for central Grand Traverse County in northern Michigan until 3:45 a.m. At 12:15 a.m., Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between half an inch and 2 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Hazard, flash flooding caused by thunderstorms. Radar indicated. Flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas are the impacts. In this new flash flood warning, we have downtown Traverse City State Park, Spider Lake, Grawn, Williamsburg, and Bates. Once again, it's hard to see flash flooding at night. Be cautious. It's hard to recognize the dangers of flooding. Turn around, don't drown when encountering flooded roadways. Most flood deaths do occur in vehicles. Flash flooding is imminent. That's the new green box you see on your screen. That is around Traverse City and extending up onto Old Mission Peninsula there. That area of weak rotation that I was watching still has a good wind signature on it as it is heading towards the Frankfurt area still. Special marine warning in blue says 34 knots of wind or greater are possible. What? What?
Deer.
Let me guess. Oh, it's a different camera. That's the first time we've used this camera on stream.
Yeah, take it off if you don't mind. I gotta do some adjusting to this.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you're tent camping in Traverse City, I'd be very weary of where you're at in terms of how close you are to a low-lying area, because you might float onto Grand Traverse Bay if you're not careful. Tent becomes a raft. Not fun. Flash flood warning in effect. I believe that also does trigger. 99.9% certain it does trigger WEAs on your phone as well. Also, Tigers win. Yay. In extras.
Ooh.
Eight six.
Ooh. More deer, not on. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
I found more deer. You can take my screen now.
Oh, of course. It's the 3-dimensional services group camera in Lapeer, Michigan. Please just tell me they're not doing the thing that we saw happen the first time.
Nope, they're sleeping.
They're sleeping?
Laying down. I think there's another one over here. Yeah, there's another one right there.
Yeah. That's just one of our 117 weather cameras across the state. Again, courtesy of 3-dimensional services group in Lapeer. It's also a PTZ camera, so you can, as you can see, turn it around. I wonder if that PTZ camera makes a whirring noise and the deer can hear it.
Potentially.
I know it has, I think, an alarm on it, so you really could scare them. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. We're nice to wildlife.
Yes.
I'm trying to fix the other camera here so it has color at night here.
There's back up, by the way. Again, gusty winds in the not the Alpena area, the Atlanta area heading towards Hillman. On Hayes Road near Tripp with 2 P's. Gusty winds also continuing down towards our Houghton camera. The US 127 corridor, just to the north of Houghton Lake at the current time. The special weather statement does remain in effect for another 9 minutes in the tan box. More updrafts are now forming down into Wexford County towards Cadillac. We are finally seeing southerly advancement. A reminder, this mesoscale discussion did say that these storms would be down towards Gladwin and Aranac pretty much Tri-Cities area around 1 o'clock. It's got 40 more minutes to get down there. If it doesn't get down there by 1 o'clock, according to the mesoscale discussion issued by the Storm Prediction Center, it's late. This line is slowing down, which has kind of been the theme as it's gotten to the lower peninsula. I honestly thought it would speed up, but this more west to eastward orientation has kind of really messed with the timing out there tonight. Thank you, Krista G, sending the clapping seal for 250 joules. Got Heather B back for month number 24. A lot of 2-year people coming in back for their renewal of their membership. Heather says, "Go Tigers, 8-6 winner tonight," and go Tigers again. Thank you very much, Heather. Appreciate your support. Got Green Venom, $20 super chat, saying, "Got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. Do you think we are looking to be okay tonight this morning in Wayne County, Garden City area? I would like to go to sleep, but once I do, I don't wake easily, so may miss any warnings." Well, unfortunately, I am not a fortune teller, but you do have under 15% chance of seeing gusty winds of 60 or plus tonight, overnight into tomorrow morning by 4 a.m. So the good news is, at least for now, again, for Wayne County, especially right now, you guys should be good for at least the next 2 or 3 hours. Maybe set your alarm for 3. I know Ryan and I do this all the time when we're kind of rotating shifts, but set an alarm every half hour. For you, it'd just be set alarm at 3 o'clock, maybe check back in, see if we're live at that point. Good idea to do. But I know you said you're a heavy sleeper, so do what you gotta do. But these storms shouldn't be down in the Wayne County area until 3. Again, as for the severe potential, who knows? At the current time, things are looking good for no severe overnight, so we're good so far. Only concern right now is flash flooding so far in Leelanau and Grand Traverse County.
I do have the Manistee camp pulled up, and boy, is there a ton of lightning.
Ooh.
And wind, for that matter.
Pull our faces off the screen. We can do full screen here. Beautiful night. You can actually see some of the stars up there too on the north side of the screen. An electric night looking north from Manistee. Manistee is about 1.5 counties south of this line of storms right now. So with time, the storm will get closer and closer. These clouds will start to fill in more, but again, beautiful view right now. I would actually be, if I was a photographer, good chance at sprites tonight. Not the drink, but boy, I don't really know how to explain it other than it's very quick lightning that shows up as red above the cloud tops. A lot of photographers strive for those sprites. I am not one of them, but when you get these clear skies kind of out there ahead or behind a very electric night like this, potential is there. If you guys are watching right now, feel free to Google a sprite, not the drink, but type of lightning. It's very cool.
I would sprite.
Uh-oh. And now we're on deer cam.
So many deer.
I'm taking my radar back. Sounds good, Green Venom. Thank you for your support as well. Definitely better to be safe than sorry. I set alarm for 3 just to be safe. But you should be good for now. Again, not a whole lot of confidence this line is going to really make it south of 69.96, but there's still a 15% chance or less for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that would be really the only hazard as we go into tomorrow morning. It's crazy because we've been live for 2 hours and 12 minutes now, and this storm complex has still showers and storms on Lake Michigan. It's just been trending over the same area, so that is well within reason as to why they do have some flash flood warnings out here in Leelanau and now Grand Traverse County, the most recent addition.
At what point, Joel, would you like to go behind the scenes and monitor from there?
We'll give it another 10 or so minutes. Again, also watching that statement over here in the Hillman area. Cool downburst still trying to pop up. There's actually a new one, Ryan. What is happening? That's not even near a cell. Is the sky just falling tonight? Like what? What is going on? This is not Chicken Little. There's literally nothing there. And Velocity's like, oh yeah, here's a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Black River Road. 73 miles per hour at 1,900 feet off the ground in a nothing shower. Oh boy, updated scan coming in. I can't wait to see what this says.
It continues.
Stop it. If this doubles in size, I may lose it. There's nothing there. Come on. Updated scan any second now. Oh my goodness. Well, for whatever reason, the sky is falling and the winds are crashing down to the surface. Hey, guess what? County Road 634, that is on top of you guys right now in the matter of 2 scans. If you're also watching an M33 near County Road 634, about 2 miles north of Canada Creek Ranch, there's a tiny little shower that's somehow putting down 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, supposedly, at 1,900 feet. It's crazy. Radar has done some weird things today. This is definitely one of them. It's also happening south. I'm actually gonna look in. I might actually look into this after the stream is done. Like, why are we getting random pixels of 70 here? Like, I'm very well versed in radar. I just have not seen something like this happen in no convection before. Everything is a downburst if you put your heart and mind to it, for sure. Joel's not having any nonsense tonight. This is true. First it was the heat lightning. Now it's the random 4 dBz producing random spots of 75 mile per hour winds. That's ridiculous. Does not make sense. And I don't think that's true. Otherwise they would be
I don't
warning
think
it.
so either.
Otherwise they'd be warning it right now. Surely they won't warn it. A random shower with 4 dBz with a considerable tag on it? No way. At least there's a statement on a larger area of convection in Hillman in Atlanta, which did have some gusty winds there. It's also now 12:30, so our big statement that was in effect for Kalkaska, Crawford, Roscommon, and Missaukee counties is expired. Yeah, there's really nothing going on out here. I that's still there. It just crossed over M33 very quickly up towards County Road 6, still on County Road 634 and Chopac Lake Road. Any other roads want to pop up out here? Or just Chopac? Perch Lake Highway also in the vicinity of these gusty winds. quotation marks, heading towards Millersburg and Hawks in Presque Isle. If, for whatever reason, that is actually wind and not something else.
Yeah, no outages coming in from that area.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Miniature Lake Wake Low. You do have a point, although I would have to look at Mezzo for that. Where is our... I'm looking for 3-hour change. It was like a multi-parameter. I see bulk shear change. I don't really think I need that. I need... There we go. Mm. 500 millibar height change over the last 12 hours. No. Mm. Yeah, interesting. I'm looking at Surface right now. It doesn't really show anything. Oh, wait, there we go. 3-hour, 2-hour pressure change. There we go. Yeah, not a whole lot. It was under surface observations. I was trying to find it. I don't see anything that would be signs of a wake low. So, just kind of weird. Facebook is down. Yay, Facebook is down. Unable to connect. Well, maybe that's our sign to hop off for now. I don't want to restart the stream for another 10 minutes, so we'll go ahead and... That's weird. I just shut off. So I guess we'll read off our trusted partners, and then we'll take a break since no other warnings are coming in. We've been live for so long that our Facebook decided to crash, so... Hooray.
Ooh, nice bolt. Wow.
If you want to share your screen, I'll put it up on your screen while we read off the trusted partners. Free entertainment.
Sure. Let me reshare my screen. Incoming. There it is. Bruh. Bruh. Wait, what?
Don't tell me your technology is breaking as well. Is it just not working? Oh, well. Brian's whole system's cooked.
I guess try now.
That's you. Full screen.
I can fix that.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and read off the trusted partners down there at the bottom of the screen in alphabetical order, as always. Feel free to reach out to these trusted partners at any time you need some sort of services done. Free entertainment, center screen, Lewiston, Michigan, courtesy of Eagle Point Real Estate. Feel free to watch the lightning roll in, and of course, write down some phone numbers on the bottom of the screen if you need services done. Starting first with A-Class Construction and Restoration, located in Northwest Lower. It's up there where these winds have moved through tonight, so hint, hint, if you need a licensed and insured trusted partner up there for where these winds have come through, A-Class got you covered. American Harbor, located in Southwest Lower Michigan. Apex Restoration, located in Genesee County and the Thumb. Battle Creek IT for all your IT needs around the I-94 corridor. Carlton Equipment Company for all of your equipment rental needs, primarily across the southern lower peninsula. Crystal Flash for all of your fuel propane delivery needs across the state. Ink Media, specializing in website design and digital marketing strategies. Cats Roofing and Siding, it's located in Lansing and Potterville. Kuiper Tree Care, based out of West Michigan. Southeast Michigan, you've got McKay Tree Specialists looking out for you for all of your tree care needs there. McKay's Roofing and Siding over into Sanilac and St. Clair counties. Eastern Thumb region. In Livingston County and surrounding areas, you got On Top Roofing. PFCU Credit Union, with many locations across southern lower peninsula. Rainbow Restoration, located in West Michigan. Rapid Radios, for all of your LTE wireless walkie-talkie needs, turn to Rapid Radios. Feel free to donate to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Detroit by calling that number on the screen. ServPro, covering the entire state 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Storm Guard Metro Detroit North, Oakland, Macomb, and Washtenaw counties. That is your number to call there for any exterior home construction needs. Similarly, for West Michigan, you got Top Gun Roofing Exteriors, over to Top Notch Tree Care for all of your tree care needs in the 127 corridor between Jackson and Lansing. And finally, Victor's Home Solutions, based out of the Tri-Cities region. That's Midland, Bay City, and Saginaw. As always, down there, right below Ryan and I. Anytime you need one of those trusted partners, feel free to wait for them to kind of scroll through, and they'll be there for you. But seeing as there are no more severe warnings coming in at the current time, we are going to head off for now. We'll be watching these storms in the background, rest assured. If we see anything that needs to be talked about, we'll of course jump back in live. But we'll be live no matter what, if a severe warning is issued. But at the current time, not that concerned with anything that I'm seeing on radar. Again, flash flood warnings do continue for Leelanau, Grand Traverse County at the current time. Ryan, anything else to add?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Over to Super Chat. Make sure I don't miss any here. We got Top Innaby, 199 Super Chat, saying Lake Effect Heat Lightning and Top Innaby. That is just my sign to stop the stream right now. L, thank you for your support. I also have IJO, I believe, $10 Super Chat, saying good night, guys. Thank you. No problem, IJO. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always, and appreciate your support. These storms will continue to march off to the southeast. Decent outflow boundary right now, extending from Mayo down through the Roscommon area. I imagine it's probably pretty gusty right now at our Houghton Lake cam. Those winds do extend all the way down into the Lake City area towards Cadillac. And then going back up to the north here in the Thompsonville and Arcadia area. The wires move ever so slowly. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and roll the outro. Again, we'll be watching behind the scenes, rest assured. Feel free to also watch Radar with us behind the scenes. Unfortunately, we don't have our MSC app out yet, so you guys can't watch Radar via the MSC app yet. But soon enough, it will be out. Also, rainfall report just came in. 90-minute rainfall report of 1.27 inches at the airport in Traverse City. We're going to hop off for now. Watch with us behind the scenes if you feel led. Otherwise, stay safe out there this evening. If you're going to bed, make sure to have ways to receive warning on you, whether that's phone or weather radio. And we'll talk to you guys soon here at MSC. Thank you, mods, as always, for helping us out in chat tonight. We'll see you guys sometime soon. Take care.